Oh.
We are live.
Hey.
I think we're a minute early,
Okay.
but that's okay, right?
So, Patriot Bro. Hey, Scott. All right. Hey, Scott.
What is Scott saying?
He says, I'm the first one here.
Oh. Well, I want to say welcome to Scott. Scott, is he on YouTube? Or he must be, if we can see his thing. I'm not seeing that Rumble is showing us yet, so
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we might be having Rumble trouble again.
Oh,
no. This happened. Oh, there it is. It's very delayed, but that's okay. I see Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
And is it
50
Cube?
Hello.
All right. Well, welcome. We're going to talk about all of
Inspector's with us.
Is he? Hey,
yeah.
So we are going to talk about climate. And but before we get into our topic of our show, we have someone joining us, and I want to go ahead and introduce her and bring her in. It's Moxie. Welcome, Moxie.
Woo! Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey.
Moxie is spicy. She's a spicy one if you see her comments online.
Also known formerly as Miss Sassy Pants.
I like it. So, Moxie, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I guess I can. I'm Angela Moxie. That's not new news because if you see my username, it's right in there on Telegram. And I believe it's also in my tag for Rumble and stuff. I am a divorced mom. I have 5 animals as well. I have a 15-year-old boy. I was not always awake. I woke up hard during the pandemic in 2020. And it has been very interesting. I happened to stumble on a lot of the awakening stuff, and eventually I ended up meeting these 2 nice ladies. And here I am.
Yeah. We love to research and find crazy stuff going on. So thanks, Moxie. Tonight's episode is about climate change. And we are going to count down some of the craziest things people do in the name of climate change. But before we do, let's show some of the emotions that come out. And I do want to do a disclaimer. I'm all about the environment. I think we should respect it. I'm an animal lover. I just feel like we need to call out things that are a little outrageous and some of the fear mongering that happens. So with that, let's show you Al Gore.
We're still putting 162 million tons into it every single day, and the accumulated amount is now trapping as much extra heat as would be released by 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every single day on the Earth. That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would lose our capacity for self-governance on this world. We have to act.
Did you guys know the oceans were boiling?
Oh my gosh. I need a balcony to throw myself off of. That was.
Did you know that there were rain bombs happening? Did you hear his words?
Yeah. Jeez.
And that there's going to be 1 billion climate refugees.
Man.
Well, a lot of people are passionate about climate change. So should we count down some of the craziest things? Should we start with number 10?
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting out a little small, but plastic bags and straws and all kinds of stuff are being banned. And I think, Moxie, you have something to say about that.
So it's been a little while since I went to McDonald's, but I was on the road this weekend and I happened to stop at McDonald's to grab some coffee to keep myself awake and also got myself a large water. And this is the first time I've gone since they decided to do away with their straws. So they gave me this cup, which this is plastic, thicker plastic, and that's interesting that they're trying to do away with plastics, but then they went from a paper and wax cup to this. Their covers are nice and hard now. Nice and thick. And then they have this area where you drink out of here, and it has little flip top like you would for coffee, but it doesn't seal around it, which means you're going to dump it on yourself if you're not careful. But then, because it's raised up here, and they didn't I'm gonna drop that. Okay. Since they didn't angle this decently, when you drink out of it, the ice goes right up against the mouth hole. Nothing.
You can't get your water?
Or my coffee. Can you imagine how much swearing I did while I was
Wait a minute.
I couldn't get my coffee in my mouth.
Wait, does coffee come in those plastic?
The iced coffee comes like this too.
Oh, sure.
So it was kind of ridiculous. Here I am swearing because I can't drink my coffee that I need to stay awake.
Yeah, don't be swearing on here. No, I'm kidding.
No, I will be nice.
So
have you had an experience like that, Carrie?
at McDonald's? No.
No, at anywhere. Plastic bags, straws, or not being able to find light bulbs.
I don't know. I just got to say that the LED bulbs, they're supposed to last for 5 years. They're done in a year and a half.
Yeah, they don't last that
or
long.
maybe they say 10 years. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that is a fallacy. And I wrapped a bunch. I have 2 huge trees, magnolia trees in the back, and for Christmas I had them wrapped, and they're probably 18 feet tall. Anyway, it didn't last but 3 months. This was the previous Christmas. So, you get these things and you expect to be able to do it every year. And so anyway, I don't think they're very reliable.
Well, I went to a local coffee shop and I got an iced coffee, and I asked for a straw because they didn't give me one. They gave me a paper straw, or it's like cardboard. It was so disgusting. It was so gross.
Yeah, it is really weird to drink out of those paper straws.
Well, anyway, it goes a little overboard. But Moxie, that was a funny story. Let's go on to number 9. Super glue protests. Is everybody familiar with the super glue protests?
Definitely.
So these environmentalist activists, I don't know, what are some of the stories you've seen where they've glued themselves to things?
I saw one. It was a car show, and they glued their hands to the floor, and then they realized that they had to go to the bathroom. I mean, what are they thinking? I mean, they're stuck there. It's like somebody tossed them some potty pads and put some ABBA on really loud on repeat.
They didn't think ahead, I guess.
Just to annoy them. But yeah, I don't know what they did actually to get unstuck. But
oh man, well, there's a funny one. There's from a couple of months ago. They interrupted a Beethoven concert.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is they thought they were going to stop the concert, but well, you can see what happens. I'm going to play the video.
climate activists stormed the stage at Hamburg's Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall on November 25th, where musicians were performing Beethoven's Violin Concerto. The audience booed as they glued themselves to the conductor's podium. While many protests involve hours, or even days, of disruption, the duo probably underestimated just how easy it would be for security to escort them off stage, meaning their sit-in didn't last too long. It turns out the railing they had attached themselves to could simply be lifted up from the podium, as venue staff proved when they marched on stage. One staff member picked up the railing and pulled it down from the small platform, in turn forcing the two climate campaigners to join them as they walked off stage.
So that didn't work out quite well for them, did they?
I wonder if they didn't get paid for that one. It didn't go very well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's the one with the art.
Yes, actually, I have that video. I don't know if this is going to be a good one, so I'll stop it if it's not very interesting. But yeah, people gluing themselves to art.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are sorry for the disruption. Leonardo da Vinci said, out of all the sciences, art is the queen of communication. And now, more than ever in this day and age, communication of the truth and of the experience of humanity during these times of catastrophic climate change.
Okay, it's a long video, but just stop oil. They're gluing their hands to the art. They're spray painting.
My question is why? Why super glue? Have you ever accidentally glued your fingers together and tried to pry it apart? It hurts.
And do they know what super glue is made out of?
Right?
Petroleum.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
I saw another one. I think it was like the Tour de France or something like that. And they glued themselves to the pavement, and the cops just came by, put their arms under their shoulders, and picked them up, ripping their hands off of the pavement and carried them off.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
Why? I've seen another one with the art, and then they throw tomato soup at
Yeah.
the art. Like, why? What?
Why ruin the art? You know,
Yeah, it's so disrespectful. And are they gaining any people to their cause? Are they winning anyone?
probably
It's
not.
so ridiculous.
Probably not. Yeah, there's another guy who glued himself to concrete. They literally cut the concrete out around his hand. I do have a video of that.
Klebeaktion von Last Generation in Mainz, und es ist die erste Aktion dieser Art in der Universitätsstadt und die erste Klebeaktion in Rheinland-Pfalz. Die Polizeibeamten hatten sich darauf schon vorbereitet, in anderen Bundesländern gefragt, wie löst man Aktivisten vom Asphalt, wenn sie Sekundenkleber nutzen. 4 Aktivisten hatten sich auf einer Brückenzufahrt im Bahnhofsbereich auf der Straße festgeklebt. Mit Olivenöl, Spachtel, Spritzen und Kanülen konnten 3 Aktivisten vom Asphalt gelöst werden. Der 4. aber hatte den Sekundenkleber mit Sand vermischt, eine besonders hartnäckige Mischung. Am Ende mussten Straßenbauarbeiter gerufen werden. Sie nutzten schweres Gerät, Trennschleifen und Bohrhammer und stemmten so die Hand frei. Über 2 Stunden klebte der Aktivist fest, erst dann konnte er von der Straße gelöst werden. An seiner Hand klebt noch ein großer Brocken Asphalt. Er wird im Krankenwagen weggebracht. Eine Sanitäterin erklärte ihm noch, das kann zum Verlust der Hand führen.
That's so awesome. They should have made it a bigger block, so he had to walk away with a big heavy thing.
I can't even believe these people who glue themselves to things. It's so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. It's cracking up. I'm cracking up. Anyway, okay. Let's, what are we on now? We did 10 and 9, right?
We did.
Okay. So now it's time for number 8, which maybe isn't as funny. So maybe we'll go by this one pretty quickly. Oh, the carbon credits. These started quite a while ago. Gosh, maybe 15 years ago or so, or Was it longer? I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time researching it, but it's morphed from carbon credits into like ESG. And for folks that don't know, like they're trying to encourage other countries' they're trying to encourage behavior by offering carbon credits, like to farmers, if they get rid of some of their animals or grow certain crops, and it has morphed into the ESG kind of rating thing where carbon credits are a part of that. And I don't really, let me see what I've got here.
It's a permit that gives you the right to emit some carbon dioxide, a certain amount, a set amount, right?
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing about the carbon credits is now they're coming up with super credits for people to do even crazier stuff to combat climate change. So,
but I was reading that the goal was to allow market mechanisms to drive industrial and commercial processes to lower emissions. So what does that mean?
I don't know.
Is that going toward corporate fascism? Like, what are we talking about? Anyway.
I don't even understand that. Like that whole sentence you just said. I'm like, what is what is that? But it's serious because
I don't know. I was hoping you could explain it.
No, I didn't take too much time to research that. Although I have researched ESG, and we'll have a show on that one day. But that's too big of a topic.
Yeah. But the question is, who gets to decide how much you can emit?
It's ridiculous. And they put money behind it. It's a huge grift.
Yep.
It is.
You know. So let's move on. That's a boring subject. So they're trying to capture the carbon and trap it underground. And what could go wrong?
Okay, so I was looking at this, and we don't currently have access to a cheap technology to do this. And there's only like 3 different companies that have the capability of doing this. But what kind of carbon are they trying to put underground? Like, the human body is 18.5% carbon.
They want us under there, sweetie.
Oh,
But like, we are the carbon they want to eliminate. We are. That's just basic.
Well, it's the building block of life.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, we're made of carbon. We take in oxygen, and then we expel carbon dioxide. Then plants use that and turn that into food.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you do away with the carbon, you're taking care of our food too.
You know what's interesting to me? You said the plants. You know, that's food for the plants. And I was reading something the other day about them wanting to build these fake forests.
Yeah, fake trees.
Fake.
That would suck the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere.
Instead of just like, you know, how about just put the rainforest back?
Plants that naturally do that?
I know, it's so crazy.
Anyway, I found that crazy. They're turning it into liquid fuel and wanting to store it underground, which just feels like something major could go wrong with that.
Yeah, like a leak.
Definitely.
And I mean, if it leaks, I mean, I know I've seen a lot of environmentalists are very concerned about that too. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, I mean, the carbon dioxide, it's what makes plants green. They need it for photosynthesis.
Right.
And so, you know, they're worried about the environment, and yet like the Green New Deal would actually seek to eliminate the molecule that makes the planet green.
I find it hilarious that they think they can control these things that actually it's nature. So why would they mess with nature? Because nature has been made perfectly, right?
Right.
So
And with the way they mess with it is with artificial things. It's so fascinating. It's like they they seem to pretend to care about it, and we're going to get into some other things in the same regard. But all of their fixes are artificial.
yeah,
It,
it's pretty funny.
Nature doesn't make them money.
the irony is
problem.
lost on them. Pardon?
Nature does not make them money. They cannot
Right.
control nature.
Good
That's
point.
exactly what it is. It's all about the money. So let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Okay.
So this is like the chemtrails. They're putting chemicals in the air and other particles to try to block the sun.
Haven't they been doing that a long time though?
They're getting a little extreme with it.
The
Which,
sulfur crystals in the ionosphere, that's the chemtrails, right?
yep.
Yeah.
So
And that's what creates the acid rain, actually,
yep.
that Al Gore was talking about, yelling about.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. I thought I had my screen shared, but like this was from 2019, where Harvard scientists wanted to release sun dimming sky chemicals in 2019. And actually, we have another countdown item where I'm going to talk about how ridiculous they got with this. I should have included, like, we should have had one more countdown item, but we're going to get into more details about how extreme they're taking it. So,
And what could go wrong with that? I mean, you're only blocking out the sun and, those rays that we need to make food.
right? That
The sun is
all of
essential
life needs.
to plants.
I
Yep.
mean, they have their reasons. I mean, we could piece it together pretty fast, right? I mean, with the farms that they're trying to take, in the Holland or the Netherlands, they
Yeah,
want
we're going to get to that one too.
Okay. But
All right.
But vitamin D makes people happy, and happy people, you can't control them.
Exactly.
The vitamin D, I didn't even think about that, Moxie. That's a good call out right there. Yeah. Well, let's look at the next item, and then we're going to delve a little more deep into what they want to do with the atmosphere. So we have blame climate change on everything, and then fungal illness is just one example. And I think, Carrie, you found that one. I don't know if you want to.
Well, what I noticed, there were a couple different articles, but the one they were all the same symptoms as COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, wait a minute, but it's coming from the earth, but it's like, you just go down the list. It's COVID. But don't worry, because they're getting a vaccine ready for it. So I'm not really sure, but seems.
And they're saying that it's from climate change because of the population expanding, and they have to go and excavate and disturb the soil, and it's soil borne. And they're saying that it's going to become endemic by 2065. So that is going to make it originates in California, as everything that causes cancer does.
That valley fever thing?
Yes, the valley fever thing. And they're saying that it's going to make its way this way from California.
Yeah. Oh, they topped 20,000 in 2019. So the CDC is following this. So we're in good hands.
And guess what? It affects the elderly the most.
Really? Interesting.
Surprising.
So they have fever, chills, fatigue, or just generally unwell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, especially since COVID, since COVID has similar, and then we've got this scary heading: harmful pollution boosting superbug, silent pandemic. That's for the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So they put these scary headlines out there. I think people are getting desensitized
I do too.
Pandemic, like
to some of this, don't you think?
I do.
I know I am, because
Yeah, we are for sure.
well, and 10 years ago, you'd see these shocking headlines and be like, oh my gosh. I have to admit, like I fell into some of those shocking headlines, but
you guys
yeah.
remember monkeypox was a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tried to scare us with monkeypox, and then
Yep.
you come to find out that it's only in a certain community, and like it's
I
not.
wonder if climate change caused monkeypox.
Yes, clearly.
I wonder if you could Google that. I should try to Google that.
I'm sure there'll be something on it.
You think?
Everything causes climate change.
Well, okay. So, do you guys have any more comments on the fungus?
Well, these are antimicrobial resistant little microbes, right? But they're saying that they found them in fish and cattle. Oh, how convenient. They don't want us eating meat. They don't want us fishing and, eating out of the ocean. I mean, really, they would like to just make all our food in a laboratory. That is, I think, their ultimate goal.
Oh, that topic's coming up.
Oh, it
That
is?
is- I'm gonna hold on to that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hold on to that one. Can we go to the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, you read that right. You read that right. So this is what I was talking about earlier: the space ring and sunglasses. Sunglasses for the Earth. So I am going to definitely pull up an article, and then I've got a video to show, but I don't know if you guys have any commentary before we pull those up.
So basically what they were talking about is something that they release particles into the sky that disperses the light
Mm-hmm.
to act like sunglasses. And it I'll let you watch the video.
Well, one of the first, before I get to the video, the first crazy things is they want to put a ring made out of, like, I don't know if it's satellites or spacecraft.
They're micro spacecrafts.
Micro spacecrafts. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To darken the Earth and mimic a volcano. Man, I hope they do.
Look how cheap it's going to be to do that too.
How cheap?
How many trillions?
Oh, 500 trillion tops.
How, I can't see it. What is it?
600 trillion to 200. Here, I'll make it a little bigger. To 200 trillion.
It's cheap. It's cheap.
No problem. Honestly, I really hope they do not become successful in some of these crazy things.
So how are we going to fuel these little mini aircraft things?
Right? Yeah.
Just how?
Yeah. The other one is that video, which I have to play from Google Chrome. So I'm going to stop sharing and then pull up my Chrome, because I do want you guys to see this video, just a few seconds of it. This gal wants to, where's my,
The countries that Bill Gates has asked to, darken the sun. I think Sweden was the first one that said no thanks, and Mexico declined. Is anyone buying this? Or any of these nations?
I don't know. But this girl, this is Harvard, mind you. This is Harvard. And just listen to her.
There's multiple ways people talk about doing this.
Can you hear it?
It's a little low.
And what we study or focus on at Harvard's program is called solar or stratospheric aerosol injection, meaning you would put these kind of very tiny, very reflective particles in the stratosphere, and they would kind of act like a sunglass for the Earth. So they would reflect sunlight back to space and keep
Sunglasses for the Earth. I couldn't believe that came out of the mouth of somebody from Harvard. She sounds like a 17-year-old. Nothing wrong with 17-year-olds. By the way, I love 17-year-olds. I'm just saying. Doesn't sound like a Harvard educated.
Unless she was trying to dumb it down for us, dumb people. But no.
What did they say about how do they reconcile the fact that we've had the most snow buildup in Antarctica in 2019? Like the snow caps, they're getting bigger, the icebergs.
Record low temps all over the place.
Yeah.
But they're saying no, it's a cooling trend, and we've moved into just this year, I believe, maybe last year, a solar minimum. So it's already starting to get colder. Anyway,
they predicted it also from the rocks. I was reading an article about how they study the rocks, and that they're predicting based off of natural Earth cycles that a cooling trend is coming, which not shocked because this year was unbelievable. This winter.
We were in a solar maximum before, and the solar flares were intense coming off the sun. But they say actually that it's going to be maybe take until about 2025 for us to really feel it. And there are some people that are very concerned about crops when it does get colder. But hey, I don't know. They've been wrong about every prediction for 50 years.
Yeah.
So, as
It
far
was
as,
supposed to be a thing of the past by the year 2000.
pardon?
The snow was supposed to be a thing of the past by the year 2000.
Oh, yeah. All the glaciers should have been melted by now, according to. But they did change it from global warming to climate change.
Because they don't know what's going on.
Right. Because they're not God. So let's move on to number 3, because I think this will be our longest discussion topic.
Okay.
Eat bugs.
No, thank you.
A syntax for meat. And farm takeover. Who wants to grab this one?
I was just cracking up at how they market the eating of the bugs. It's like
eating those bugs.
It's like bugs, the other meat, or
the other white meat,
or just the other meat. But I mean, there was one that was, enjoy a juicy, sweet honeybee, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, they've been protecting them, for years, and so concerned because they pollinate like 75% of our food. But they're like, hey, but no worries, we have little tiny drones that can pollinate the food instead. So eat those honeybees.
What about those of us that are allergic?
I know, it's just madness.
Oh shoot. Where was that? Yes. No, it's in the human engineering one, but I'm going to mention it now anyway. So human engineering might be pretty fast, but there are some Lone Star tick that people get bit and then suddenly they're allergic to meat.
Yeah.
They want to come up with a plan to maybe introduce something like that. So, because they can't convince people not to eat meat. Well, that's because God made us to be carnivores. That's how we're made. Even
They
though
want to artificially induce an allergy.
they want to artificially induce an allergy. Yes.
And it's called alpha-gal syndrome.
Yes. Look at you. You've got like a photographic memory. I need to reference things to remember what they're called. But yeah, so here, how giving up meat and eating bugs can help save the planet. I've got all kinds of things. Well, not all kinds. I have a few things. They want to approve 2 more insect species as food for humans.
No, thank you.
And I think, who was it? Wasn't there an interview recently where they were talking about like they can have like the FDA has approved so many insect parts in food without having to put it on the label?
Yeah, it's in our food and it's in candy. The shellac, the confectioner's glaze.
Really?
That's, I'm sorry.
On like jelly beans and stuff like that. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's from a beetle. You know how the beetles are shiny? So I know you're never going to look at hot tamales again.
No.
Junior mints. Anyway, yeah. They don't put that it's from bugs or beetles. They put that, oh, it's the confectioner's glaze. They hide it.
Yeah, and so I want to know what's going on because now they've also got like they want to have a meat tax. So they're calling it a sin tax, taxing people for consuming meat and for eating meat.
How is that going to help the environment?
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, what's the deal with the bugs? Is it because they think they want to kill off all the cows and pigs? Well, that's going to be another thing coming up.
Bugs and pay money, or if I eat less bugs and eat more meat and pay more money, how does that solve any of the stuff?
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't. It just consolidates their power. Pardon?
The earth doesn't care about money.
They do. It's just all about getting the more power and more money to do all of their programs and things. But that's what it is, and to scare us enough to think that we should give it to them.
They even have like these ads, like, would you attend a Bugs giving dinner? And like pictures of trays with bugs mixed with vegetables. Ugh, it's just so gross. I can't even stand it. I'll take this off now.
Thank you.
And I know in some cultures it might be normal to eat some insects, but there's no way I couldn't. Anyway, the other part of this number 3 is so it's all about our food, right? So meat tax, have you start eating bugs, and now they want to control the farmers. I don't know if everybody's aware of what's going on in the Netherlands with the truckers, or not the truckers. Farmers. Netherlands wants to remove is it 30,000 farms by 2030?
3,000.
Oh, 3,000. Okay.
By 2030.
Thank you for correcting me. But it's like the big shoe of Big Brother is really getting a little crazy.
Yeah. They want control of the food because that's how you control the people. You control the nations by central banks. You control the people through their food.
That's true. And like Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland, and is it him that's coming up with the fake meat?
He's a part of it.
Or who's? I didn't get anything ready for that.
But there's an Indian
and everything.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. So yeah, should we move on to our next topic? Or you guys have more you want to cover?
I want to talk about like movies like Snowpiercer, where the elite are on the train And there's the working class, and they find out that they're eating some very unsavory things. And then there's things that happen in horror movies like Soylent Green, where you find out you're actually eating people.
The Soylent Green one
And
is.
then a year or two ago, I was at a store and I found a protein drink under the brand name Soylent.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, no. No, thank you.
yeah, that movie, I remember I was traumatized, but when you hit a certain age, you had to go and donate yourself to become food.
Ah.
That gulp. I saw that gulp.
What?
Naz just gulps. Like,
It's just it's so disgusting.
I felt that gulp. It's so bad.
It's so bad. Let's go to number 2. I'm done with this topic. Human engineering and population control is one way they're trying to combat climate change. I'd like to open the door for you guys to chat about it before I feel like I'm taking over. So
No, you're
Okay.
doing great. You're awesome.
this was the one where it had the tick bite.
Yeah, the tick bite was interesting, making us allergic to meat.
Mhm.
They did something similar with a certain pharmaceutical drug that made you sick if you decided to smoke cigarettes.
Really?
It was meant to. It's a psych med that is also, if you smoke, then it makes you sick. So this is kind of the same thing where they're making us sick if we do something undesirable.
Something they don't want us to do, basically. Yeah.
They're also talking about having smaller children.
Yes.
Genetically engineering our kids to be smaller to put out less of a carbon footprint, I'm guessing. Like controlling hormone levels. And that takes me into things like Demolition Man. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
No. Short is the new green, though. I'm pulling up an article. It's hilarious. Like, that is literally the title. Go ahead with your movie.
So in the movie, there's Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone, and the movie's supposed to take place in the late 90s, but it flashes forward to 2032, and people don't even have sex anymore. Like, Sylvester Stallone comes from the past and wants to, practice making babies, and she's like, ew. We don't do that anymore.
Wow.
They want to genetically engineer our kids. Another movie that did that was in The Giver. If you have either seen or read that,
Yes.
they take a pill or an injection every day, depending on which version you're watching or reading. And that starts when they hit puberty and they start to have the stirrings, which is basically sexual fever or feelings.
Puberty.
And they have people, like the kids, as they get to what I'm guessing is like the equivalent of the end of high school, they're given their jobs, they're assigned jobs. And one of those jobs is birthing mother. It's a job, but these people don't make babies the way that they normally would because they don't have the hormones to actually produce children while they're taking those injections. So I'm assuming that I want to believe it's artificial insemination, but they can only do this job for 5 years and then they send them out to do hard labor afterwards because it's kind of a cushy job for a little while once you push out those babies and they send you off to work. But they don't.
Those are fictional movies. Do you think that will come to reality?
it's very dystopian, and hopefully not. Like, what is there to live for if you're not having sex and you're not eating meat? I'm sorry, that does not sound like a life that I want to have. I'm going to say it because I'm going to say whatever is on my mind, but that's not a life I want to live.
I think with this human engineering, it's like they're trying to play God, and
absolutely,
God made us the way we are
with all of this.
Yes,
all of it. But I mean, what's too tall? That's what I want to know. Like,
yeah,
how
that
tall are we
Munchkin,
talking?
that Munchkin article. I might be perfect for them because I'm short. I'm not a tall girl. I'm a little petite girl. But some of the other things they're trying to do to combat nature, and here's how I don't even see how they even connect the dots. They connect climate to everything. Everything. So how about educate the girls is what they say. And because they're not educated, that contributes to reduce greenhouse emissions if they are educated. Because sure, why not? I don't get it. Oh, here's another one. Want to fight climate change? Educate a girl.
I think I can expand a little more on this. I see a lot of people who are going on to higher education choosing not to have kids because they don't want to bring their kids into a life the way we have it right now.
So if you're educated, you'll have fewer.
You're indoctrinated to think that having kids is selfish.
Yeah, indoctrinated is the key word.
If you educate a girl and indoctrinate her the way you want her to be, then she is going to not desire to have kids. And then we keep the population down. And then we just have generations that are not reproducing because there's not a lot of them.
Well, at least it's the indoctrinated ones that aren't reproducing.
There is that as a saving grace.
I mean, the truth is we actually have a population problem, but the reverse of that.
Where we need more people?
We do.
We absolutely do.
Absolutely.
I was saying that.
That's right. Yeah, he did recently. Elon posted that on Twitter.
Jordan Peterson has a great video about it, but it's a fact. And other countries are like Germany is really bad. So yeah, it's a problem. But for the globalist elite, it would be great because was it what the Georgia Guidestones? They had their 500 million must maintain the population. So for them, that it's perfect. All of these things are they have that in common, driving for that goal.
That was a goal to have the population down. And I didn't pull the clip up, but that's okay. Everybody's probably seen it. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, where Bill Gates talked about getting to zero emissions by I don't remember what year, but he did this TED talk, and he talked about, there's people and then there's services for people. And he's like, one of these has to go down, and it's crazy. He didn't literally say we need to have less people, but what he intimated that vaccines will help with the population problem is how he put it.
10 to 15% reduction.
How do vaccines help with the population problem?
He said it. He said it will reduce the population by 10 to 15%.
Right. Through vaccines.
I mean, you could go to TED Talk and see that.
And that was when he was talking about the climate. So they're connecting all of that together, and it's just crazy. But you can see it when you're up, like at the 100,000-foot view looking down. A lot of people stay in the weeds and react to all the little news stories here and there and what they're supposed to do because everybody else is doing it. But yeah, when you step back and look at everything, it's kind of interesting. Should we get to our number one? Because people might want to watch Joe Biden do the State of the Union.
Oh, right.
So let's get to our final one. Ready?
Ready.
We saved that for last on purpose because it is the most ridiculous one.
Can you show the picture, please?
Yes, I'm pulling them up. Okay, guys.
I'm not going to say anything until we show the picture.
Okay, so I think I don't know if this is a burp pack or a fart pack.
That's the fart pack.
Is that
That's the fart pack.
Yeah, and then whoopsie. This one, oh, I should they wanted to put masks on cows as well. Sorry, I didn't have it up already and it's all blurry. But I think this one pretty much tells you what they're doing. So they have fart packs, they have burp packs.
I have so many questions.
Do you have questions worth pondering?
I do.
Okay, what are they?
First of all, why? Just why? After that, who gets to put these on the cows every day and then either empty them or change them out? And
Well, where do they put it?
Well, it's supposedly like one day's emissions from one cow could fuel a car for 24 hours.
Is that what we're doing with that?
I don't know.
My next question is,
What
do we do with it once we have it collected?
Right? It's so there was
condensing it down and making fuel. Like, is this any better than the carbon we're putting into the ground?
It's not, and it's even more ridiculous because people are coming up with these contraptions to put on cows, and the poor animals,
God.
right?
I mean, you could see his little eye. I mean, he looks terrified.
Yeah.
And if there's a flood, is that a flotation device?
Well, I was kind of wondering too, like, are they going to start hovering when it fills up? I mean, it's crazy. But you know what?
Lighter than air? I forgot to look that up.
I don't know, but you know what I really want to know is what about wildlife, like all the deer and bison and beavers, like they're all running around forest burping and farting and shitting. I'm sorry, but they are. Are we going to get
that came out?
That is lighter than air. So if there is a pack big enough, that cow is going to float.
Oh my God, you guys are hilarious.
I mean, I want to go to Yellowstone. Like, are we going to be in the future seeing buffalo with these fart packs on? I mean, like how far they want to take this? But wait a minute, Nebs. I think we talked about this a little bit. What about humans? What about humans?
Yes.
I mean,
so
I think
actually,
seeing all of the cow farts, we might be okay.
Wait.
So. This is interesting because it's an article that talks about, oh, geez, it's not loading. Basically, how vegans who eat mostly plant-based, oh, there we go, actually put out more gas than people who don't eat as much plant-based food. So it's like
you're being very polite. Basically, they fart 7 times more. That's what I don't know how
you're shocking me tonight. Oh my gosh.
It's true. And so, I mean, are humans next?
Yes.
When will they stop? What's too much?
Yeah.
These ideas.
But now
the big vegan men fart 7 times more than non-vegans. They are smelly people.
So there's a lot of people on the planet. So are they, well, what are they going to do about that? I mean, that's methane and carbon dioxide gas, I would.
Yeah, so it's kind of hilarious. I don't think that these will go anywhere, but I do think should have been number one on our list, which we made number one. The most craziest thing I think people are trying to do related to combating climate change. So, yeah.
Was it really a meteor that took out the dinosaurs, or did they kill themselves with their farts? Because I mean, those were big dinosaurs. So big dinosaurs have big farts, right?
They're giant.
And we weren't around back then to find out. So
No. Well, we hope this woke you up a little bit. If you haven't heard of some of these things, and it was really fun. It was a fun topic to cover. We're gonna work on making these episodes a little more light and make fun of everything that's going on in the world. And Moxie's going to be with us moving forward. It's going to be the Three Musketeers here. And so welcome, Moxie, to the team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
I'm so glad you're with us.
Yeah, and we have regular schedule now. We will be on every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. See, I'm saying Central Time first because that's my time zone. And 8 p.m. Eastern. And with that, do you guys have any closing thoughts before we go?
I just want to say that Inspector said that he's 85% water, so he's like it's zero carbon emissions.
He's 85% water.
I think we all are. It's our bodies are water, right? I think we
Yeah.
all are. I don't know. And then and our friend Carlin Logic says cricket sticks could be delicious.
No.
Oh, no.
Are you going to try to? Are you going to make some, Moxie? Let us know.
No, thank you.
You're the cook here.
No.
Yeah, no, not for me either.
You could not pay me enough to try to do that.
No, me either. I would not.
And I'm definitely not putting it in my mouth.
Exactly. All right, ladies. Well, have a good night, and everybody watching. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I can see clear.